something popped in my head just now, but I was thinking about one of the things I wanted to talk about today. Well, wait, let's get to some preliminaries. It's December 1st, Friday, and man, we had a blast last week. I hope everybody else had a good Thanksgiving weekend. We had a house full of people. We did it all Friday, which is why the whole schedule got a little bit messed up here. But really cool to see some of the relatives, a nephew and his family that I don't see very often, and they dropped in and stayed really late, and it was great. Sometimes people stay late, and it's like, hated to see them go at 9 o'clock or so. But now we were into December. We have a couple of big news. What I'm going to talk about today is kind of related to what you just heard me play there, because I've had a couple students lately ask about putting together their own arrangements of instrumentals. And since that's sort of like right up my alley, I thought, I should offer up a few more hints of that, and maybe even some songs to mess with. Oh boy, I should have thought this through, like always. Anyway, but how about another really cool announcement that I want to let you know? You'll probably see, we'll have the usual packs, or some packs will go on sale this week, but probably Monday we'll get this note out. I had a really fun conversation with an old friend from the early days of TG, going back to like 2009 is when I first met Keith. And he's kind of jumping on board to help us out with some logistics and plans. So anyway, but part of our first conversation again, after sort of getting reacquainted just last week, was a good approach to practicing. And we talked about sometimes if I tell people to just pick up the guitar for like 3 minutes a day and do it every day, great things happen. So we're putting together we're going to call it the 3-minute challenge, and we're going to have it's going to be a contest. There are going to be prizes and all kinds of cool stuff as we sort through these plans. So keep an eye out for an email that we hope to get to everybody on Monday, talking about the 3-minute challenge. But what I mostly wanted to do today was talk about taking a melody and trying to put together a solo version of it. And some of this stemmed from, one of my students was working on heard me mess with this a lot of times, because sometimes when I'm just goofing off at the end of the news, I will typically, that's a tune that I will go into frequently. And we were talking about it, you'll know what it is in a minute if you don't yet, but we were talking about putting together a solo version of it, because I probably did something like this. I don't know if I would have done this with a pick. I've been a little handicapped lately. I hate to use that word. All the Thanksgiving work we were doing and stuff, 2 broken nails, a thumbnail and my middle finger, and that has sort of what's led to a halt kind of in lesson production. So anyway, but they're coming back, except I'm getting a blister now, or a callus on the side of my thumb. That nail's going to take a while to come back. I was in tears when I can't remember what I was doing when I broke it. Usually I try to do things with my left hand that could be dangerous for my right hand, opening car doors and things like that, reaching into washing machines. Anyway, but so this is the tune that we were messing with, and I said, it's not too difficult to put together a finger-picking version of that, where you're just playing the melody and keeping a steady alternating bass going. And I was totally wrong. It's not easy to do that. So we kind of backed off, and we went into let's try something a little bit different. First, you have to have a really clear idea of the melody and even the rhythm of the melody. So even with those couple of measures, that's 2 measures over an A minor chord with the opening line of the song. This is, of course, Like a Hurricane by Neil Young. And so the first part of the battle is making sure you found the melody. Then make sure that you understand the rhythm of those melody notes. Is it going to go with those last 4 notes all on beats? Which, if I'm doing a finger-picking arrangement of it, they're going to all be pinches. That sounded pretty boring because that's not what you do in finger-picking. In finger-picking songs, you usually syncopate the melody and put some of the melody notes on the ands before the beats they would have happened there. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So the first thing, we backed it off and said, well, here, the first thing you have to do is put just the chords and the melody together without keeping the steady bass going, but just keep the rhythm going. Maybe just make sure you grab the chord on the first beat of every measure. And in this case, that melody note got down to an A. I don't want to play anything higher than the melody, so I really can't grab the chord there, but I could at least play the bass note again. Then I realized I don't want to play those melody notes on beats. Now I have a couple of measures where I don't really have any melody notes, or one is just being held over from the previous measure, so I have time to maybe strum in there. So you kind of build it in little components. And with a song like that, with the melody here, in the first 2 measures there are a lot of melody notes. Now what I just did there was added twice as many bass notes. I started playing them as half notes. And doing a little bit of strumming. So now it's getting a lot, there's a lot going on. But that's an approach you can use to start trying to build solos. And of course, this is all presented, I guess, in the package that we have here, the Chord Solos package. So I got to remember to keep reminding people about that one, because that is a really cool one. Anyway, so if we were to take another song like, I had somebody else try on a recent lesson a few weeks ago. I did the lesson on Now and Then. With those 2 simple chords, right? A minor and E minor with G in the bass. And that'd be a good example of one where that first melody note comes out is on the second beat. So what I'd do is maybe grab the A minor chord on the first beat, 1, and now we've got 3 melody notes, 4. Comes out of the B, right? And that last melody note was on the and of 4 in the first measure, in the A minor measure, and then there's nothing in the E minor with the G in the bass measure. A couple extra melody notes in that one, and then in the third little 2 measure phrase goes to F. So anyhow, if you haven't taken a look at that lesson, that one I don't show you exactly how to play the instrumental part, but or an instrumental version, but there are some big hints about it. So let's see, what did I play at the beginning? It was We Three Kings, huh? And what I just did with that one, now this one presents, so let's walk through that maybe a little bit. Now this has an interesting, different take in that it's in 3/4 time. Now that means I'm not going to keep a steady alternating bass, probably. But I have a lot of melody notes. So if you figure out the melody, that first melody note is on the first beat. And basically we've got a half note and a quarter in each measure, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3/4 notes in this measure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So since I'm not going to syncopate this one yet, So you pretty much want to play as much of the chord as you can on the first beat. If there's maybe a bass note on the second beat, an alternate bass note, and then on the third beat we have a melody note. That would be enough for that first measure. Grab the chord, 1, second bass note on beat 2, and play the melody note on 3. Same thing for the second measure. Now the third measure, I'll go to an E chord, grabbing 4 notes because the melody note's on the B string, so I'm playing a couple extra notes out of the chord, so I hear a lot of the E chord. 3/4 notes, I could just do that. Maybe I should be able to do that. Bad nail. But I could maybe make it a little busier. Now started adding in a bunch of arpeggios to thicken it up and busy it up. Was there? Let's see. Oh, now we could also take the John Fahey approach. I think I played this a couple weeks ago. Just this little vamp, which is in 4/4 time. And turn it into ragtime. But now I'm playing it in 4/4 time. See, I don't want to go into God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. What else we got in A minor? Oh, let's just change keys. Let's go into A. A's not a good key for that. Oh, it is for Frosty, I bet, though. No. Okay, well, that was fun. So I hope that gives you some ideas on putting together instrumentals. They don't have to be as kind of out there as those kind of got, but and you can also take a look at some of my easy or Christmas arrangements. I think there's a pretty good one of Silent Night, which is a good one to break into for playing it in 3/4 time. And anyway, there's a whole bunch. I got to take a look at the list and see if there's any that I haven't done that I should. Like, I don't even know if We Three Kings is one that I ever did an instrumental of, but I should. I should learn some more Christmas tunes. We all should. I think that's it. Let's see. So keep your eyes out for the 3-minute challenge, and we will check in on that next week.